Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today, or I should say us, because it is time once again to go through the entire collections of both myself and my wife. Everyone else is doing it, it's time for us to do it too. And since we've got a lot to go through, I'm going to just get started, and today we're starting with my very first bias, Momo from Twice. This binder is new for the year. If you recently saw last year's update, I moved everything to a wide A5. And as always, Momo goes reverse chronologically, so we're starting with the newest era strategy, which, as you can tell, I'm still working on. That should be done fairly quickly. I also expanded this collection slightly this year after I moved to the wider format. So I had a few cards from various eras I was missing that I went back and got. I still don't fully collect Momo for album cards, but I have quite a few of her Korean album cards. And then we move into Misamo cards, which I still have quite a few to get, particularly for Masterpiece. And then we have Haute Couture, the latest album. I have a few pages of POBs and Lucky Draws for various eras. As well as a few miscellaneous cards like from fan meetings, anniversaries, and light sticks. So that is all I have for Momo at the moment. This binder is already very full, even though I just upgraded, but I do kind of have a plan in mind should I need to upgrade again in the next 12 months. But as far as my collection goals, mostly it's just keeping up, because I'm fairly well caught up. Just finish strategy, work some more on Misamo, get whatever they put out in the coming year, and hopefully this binder will last me at least through 2025. We shall see. Next, we have one of my favorite collections. This is old LOONA eras. I collect pretty much just Kim Lip for LOONA, but I do have some other members, as you'll see. Except for this very first page, we start off with album cards. These are some Polaroid style photo cards from kind of the debut era for full group LOONA. So I have both Kim Lip and Jinsol, and I would like to get the corresponding Jinsol for this front page. And then we have the pre-debut era for Kim Lip, and then later Odd Eye Circle. And then we have full group, which I'm still missing XX. I said I wanted to do that last year. That obviously didn't happen, so hopefully we actually can accomplish that goal in 2025. I even have their Japanese cards for LOONA. And then the next few pages are going to be related to concerts and various fan meetings in a somewhat chronological order, but not totally. I also finished this full group set. This is for Midnight Festival. So there's no hustle, but there is a group card, so it's a full 12 card set. Couple of seasons greetings, some light stick and fan kit cards, various merch, including these two holographic photo cards from their summer concept zone. Those were new additions this year. Very happy to have those. And then some assorted POBs with another page for expansion should I get a few more. And then lastly, we have just a few various members that I pulled in albums or other merch. And that is my LOONA collection. As you saw, not a whole lot left to get. I think it's literally a handful of cards that I'll be looking for in the next few months to kind of round this out, but this is pretty much a complete collection. And then from LOONA, we transition very nicely into ARTMS. This binder is actually what I call my girl groups binder because it has not only ARTMS but aespa and WJSN. So to start off, we have Odd Eye Circle, which expanded a little this year. I was only collecting Kimlip at first, but then I expanded to get Jinsol and Cherry. And I also finished collecting Heejin's album this year. We have Doll and some various other objects from concerts and Season's Greetings. And then we have Pops from a couple different ARTMS and Odd Eye Circle eras. And Heejin too. Mostly my goals for ARTMS are just, it's kind of like everything, just kind of keep up, fill in the couple gaps I already have. They have a new album coming out, at least one new album coming out next year. So I'll just be getting whatever happens. There's no real like back collecting right now. And then we have aespa. I collect Ning Ning from aespa, and I'm also fairly well caught up with this collection. I'm just missing a few cards that are pretty much all the regional retailer exclusive, like that Barnes & Noble card. I know there's like a Target card and maybe something else I'm missing from more recent eras. I also got their Japanese release this year. And I don't really collect pops for Ning Ning, but I do have a few from the unboxing events that they've done over the years. And so again, no real goals other than whatever they put out, I'm going to try to keep up. This last year, they were a little bit busier, so I had a lot of work to do. Hopefully this year they're a little bit lighter, because I'd like to focus more on some of my other collections. Next we have WJSN The Black and Sola. This was another collection I finished this year. I did the full 4-member group set for WJSN The Black, including all of the unit cards. This actually took me like 18 months to finish. I thought it would be a very quick and easy collection, but it took a lot more work than I expected. And then we have Sola's album cards from Last Sequence. I don't think I mentioned it, but she's who I collect from WJSN. And then I also have some album cards from her solo album in 2024. And I don't really have goals for WJSN. I don't really know where they are as a group. If they put out a release this year, I will almost certainly collect it, but it just seems unlikely at this point. So this collection is kind of in a weird spot. And then finally, we're kind of going back to LOONA real quick. We have some of these acrylic tickets from various concert events they did. And I actually got this one this past year, which I'm very excited about. So I only actually have one more that I would like to get to consider that collection done. And then we also have these With Drama 2-cut photo pre-order benefits. I got the full 12-member set. And then a couple other Kimlip items that probably should move to a different binder soon, but for now, they're back here. So yeah, so that is what I call my girl groups binder. Fairly full. Don't know how much longer it's gonna stay this way. I might need to pull Ning Ning out and give her her own binder soon, but we'll see. And then this is like my miscellaneous member and collection group. There are a couple like actual collections in here, but then it's also just sort of a mishmash of things and people. So to start off, we have Yukika, who was a soloist, and I have all of her album photo cards. I actually finished that this year. She put out one final album at the end of 2023, and so I spent this year trying to get those final 3 cards. And then next we have some miscellaneous Twice items, like Misamo group cards, a few other members I've pulled or otherwise gotten in orders, and some Jihyo solo stuff. Basically stuff that isn't Momo exclusively lives here. This next section I refer to as my Starship section because it has both Yujin from IVE as well as some of my other WJSN cards that are sort of like incomplete collections, as well as some other members and the larger things. And then finally we have two things. We start off with So Da-hyun from SSS. She's the member I collect in SSS. And I have all of her album objects done, at least up to the time of recording. And then we have a few other random polls like Sinbi from G-Friend, Sakura from Le Seraphim, Winter, and Karina from aespa. A couple of Baekhyun's solo cards, and then Taeyeon and Mark, as well as So-eun and Monday from Weekly. Oh yeah, and I always forget this XID group card. That's also here. So obviously there's no real goals here, since this is just sort of a miscellaneous binder. Obviously I'm going to keep up with my SSS member, but really what's going to go in here is just if I get a random album and I get a card, it'll end up here. So no real goals for this binder. Okay, and then we move on to probably my biggest collection, which is Seulgi and Red Velvet. This binder houses all of Seulgi's album cards, both for Red Velvet, for her solo, Irene Seulgi, and any other album project she may have done, like Got the Beat, for instance. I am pretty much caught up with all of her album cards. There's really only, I think, two. Like this one. This is a Kino card I'm missing. And then I'm also missing one of the recent Cosmic cards. This one, the Target card. But other than that, until she puts out her upcoming solo album, I'm pretty much done with her as far as album cards go. Then we move into Red Velvet solos. As you can see, I'm all set up for Irene, but I don't have anything put away yet. Then we have Wendy. And Joy. So that is this collection. I'm hoping that Yeri will put out a solo, as she was at one point rumored to do, so I can have all of the member solos in here. But otherwise, like I said, mostly I'm just going to be trying to keep up with whatever Seulgi does in the upcoming year, whether that's just her solo, maybe Irene and Seulgi, hopefully a full group Red Velvet thing happens. We shall see. And here we have not the last A5 binder in this collection, but the last one that's going to have photo cards. So this is a combination of my Seulgi merch items as well as some full member sets for Red Velvet. So we start off with Season's Greetings. Still missing some of the older ones. Then we have the holo card merch, which I'm missing a few. I'm working on this, but they're tough. And I'm even adding Joy and her solo to this. Next we have Pobs from various eras. Probably the largest single section of this binder. And then a few miscellaneous merch items. We have anniversary cards, Pink Christmas, SM Palace, AR tickets, light stick. It's a bunch of different things. And then this final section is Red Velvet full group sets. Obviously the Seulgi card is off in her binder, so these are the other four members for Ice Cream Cake era, The Velvet, Russian Roulette, Rookie, and Red Summer. I'd always like to get a few more of these. I'm always just limited by Irene, and then a few other members that I got in various polls or trades, and some full member merch sets, including their birthday cards from a couple years ago. So, like I said before, main goals are to fill out some of the backlog, like Season's Greetings, POBs. Probably we're going to need to figure out a long-term solution since this binder is basically at capacity. But I guess I'll figure that out in 2025. All right, so this is the final A5 binder, but like I said before, this is not going to have any photo cards in it. These are larger inclusions or merch that are a little too small to fit in my other large inclusion binder, but they fit kind of nicely in this smaller format. So mostly this is going to be Red Velvet and Solgi, but you'll see there's a few other members I collect mixed in. Yeah, so no real goals for this binder. Maybe just overall eliminate it if I can. Maybe figure out a way to better store these with the other large inclusions, but I don't have any real plans for expansion otherwise. But here's the real meaty large binder. So these, as I said, and as you can see, are all larger items, mostly postcard size, but there's a few slightly smaller ones. And this goes across all of my groups and collections, so Solgi, Kimlip, Momo, etc. These are Season's Greetings and various other similar postcards. And we have stuff from the holo sets. And postcard books. Isn't that cute? Then a few random ones that I just have for Red Velvet and apparently Sakura. We also have some Kim Lip stuff from a postcard pack. Then these are slightly smaller items. These are Season's Greetings postcards for twice. And then some anniversary. And then photos from Yukika's Soul Lady album. And some pre-order benefits for her time-lapse album. Or not time-lapse, time about. So that is all of my larger inclusions at the moment. This binder is very full, but I do want many more things, more holo item inclusions. I'd like to finish Yukika's photos in the back section. And really, if any more postcard books that get released for Solgi, I will almost certainly buy them and put them in here. But that being said, that is all of my K-pop photo cards and paper good collection.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's been about a year since you've probably seen any of my collection. That wasn't the intent originally, but just with the videos that came out were like, I just never showed my collection. So today we'll kind of just do a flip through to see where I'm at. We're going to start actually with my smaller collection today. That's Shotaro from RIIZE. For Shotaro, I just collect pretty much album cards. Pretty much caught up at this point. I think in the new year I'll just continue to collect album cards. Here's a few larger album inclusions that I've gotten. And then the next section here, the only kind of extra item I do collect are the holo cards that are related to a song release, I would say. So we have some here, and they're related postcards. That's my whole RIIZE collection. Next is just a small page of miscellaneous cards from other albums I have gotten over the years that I don't really collect. And then we will kind of switch over to my main collection, and we'll come back to the rest of this binder later. All right, so here's an introduction to a new binder for my collection. I have kind of upgraded my Key SHINee cards to this Prism Platinum binder. I think at the end of last year I was kind of pushing the limits of my Luca Lab binder. So we have that. And you'll see this year I've made actually a lot of progress. I managed to fully complete the SHINee album cards for both Korean and Japanese comebacks. We're just kind of waiting at this point to see what happens in the upcoming year and in the future. And I typically store my cards in chronological order, so I mix the Korean and Japanese cards together. So that's it for my album card collection. Hopefully they do another release this year, so I'll have something to work on, but otherwise I'm all caught up. Next, moving on to some POB and event cards from the hard era. Again, if they do a comeback this year, I'll collect some POBs. Probably not fully, I didn't for hard. But we'll just kind of see. Next here, moving into kind of other kind of related cards. Starting here, we have, Two Heart, and I did end up collecting the School of Oz cards, which was always a long-term goal. It just happened that both came up for really good prices this year, so. And then we move into SMCU. And then into the merch cards related to kind of SHINee or general SM events. So holo cards, and then just a smattering of combination of event cards, fan club cards, merch cards, anniversaries, things of that nature. Just the lucky cards here at the end. Again, I just plan to kind of continue collecting the same type of items I've collected in the past. Probably won't add too many new items. The next portion here are Season's Greetings cards. So I collect basically things that come in the actual Season's Greetings and then the Season's Greetings pack. I don't do any of the POBs really, or any of the kind of additional merch that SM is now into doing. I did manage to just get my Season's Greetings for this year, so we already have 2025 in here. So this will probably not change, honestly, before the next video. Next section here, since I upgraded this binder and I had a lot of room, I moved my other SHINee related cards in here for now. If I need to in the future, I can always move them back out. So I'm still working on a couple of full group sets, really just this one Onyu card. I did manage to finish the Married to the Music set. And then these are just album pulls. And a few extra cards. I did try to spend some time this year kind of downsizing just extra sets that you would get. You know, if something came with a full set of members or something came with a full set, I tried to go through and maybe not keep all of those. You know, you get to a point where you just have a whole section of your binder of random cards of the people you don't collect because you love the group. But, you know, I wanted to really focus this year. The next portion here are solo cards for the other members. I'll typically just buy one album and keep the cards, so we'll see how that is going forward. Now that everyone is kind of at different places, there's definitely more solos coming out, and it's kind of a little harder to keep up with everything kind of at the rate they're doing it. So I think this year I'll continue with getting one copy, but I'm not going to be hard pressed to get it right away. And then that is my entire SHINee Key Photocard collection for group work. Next we will move on to the solo binder. All right. Here is my binder for any of Key's solo photo cards of all sorts. Kind of do flip through here. I did manage to make some good progress this year, but of course, very active, so a lot more cards came out. So I am actually fully caught up through the Good and Great era. There's a few missing, but I do have these cards secured. They're just not here yet. So doing pretty well on that. And then moving into the new cards from 2024. Made some good progress on that, so hopefully in the new year I can complete as much as possible. I think the tarot card version for the limited of Tongue-Tied will be probably not complete next year, but everything else hopefully, and with space to continue whatever he does this year. Here's my small POB event card collection. I don't collect everything, I just kind of collect a few sets or pages from each era. Or there's a few sets I do want that I don't have yet. If you have any like specific questions about anything, you know, just leave a comment below and we can give you more information about what any of these cards potentially are. And that's for all binders. Here are Key Solo holo cards, as well as some solo release related merch cards. Again, plan mainly just to keep up. I'm doing pretty well, and I don't really plan to add any additional new items to collect, but you never know. If things end up slow, I'll probably end up doing something, but we'll see. So now we're moving to other kind of album and non-album items that are not the kind of random photo card. Just kind of starting with the solos. I originally had a lot of this in the same binder, but it was just becoming too full, and I don't really know what I want to do with my binder in the future. That's kind of a goal for this next year, is kind of figure it all out. So for now, I've just moved everything into this additional A5 I already had. So we'll just kind of flip through. And then moving into some of the slightly larger items. I don't have everything, and I don't necessarily plan to have everything, but just what I can get over time. And then into some solo merch related items. That's everything for this binder. And then next we are back to the original RIIZE binder, where I still basically spend half the binder with key related items. So these are other album and merch inclusions that are smaller for SHINee related releases or just SM related releases. Minus these, which are here because I ran out of 2 pocket pages. And then next are the other kind of larger inclusions that come in the other members' solo releases. So a few Temin items. In Minho, I don't really have anything for the other members because the versions I bought didn't come with anything else. And so that's all of my smaller A5, A5Y binders. Next, moving on to our last binder, which is the large postcard binder. As you can see, this binder is full. I'm trying to figure out what to do with next year since I can't get a second one of these binders, but we'll see. This is basically my postcard collection. If you're familiar with SM, they do a lot of postcard books for pretty much every release or event. So I'll typically collect anything related to non-album releases, so concerts or pop-ups or fan meetings that kind of have a separate photo shoot to them. We'll just kind of flip through. And then a couple of album inclusions and other members / full group postcards here at the back. And other than just continuing as they were released, that's kind of what I have for large inclusions. So that's it.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us on this annual tour of our collections. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you ever are curious about what something is that maybe we breezed over quickly, maybe you want a more thorough tour of one of our binders, just let us know and we're happy to answer in the comments or make that video. But until next time, so long.